Hello guys and welcome to us trying to do a Paradox tier list, with some games we haven't even heard about, which probably is going to make it quite interesting. But before we begin, we're trying to hit 50,000 subscribers, so please consider clicking that button. Right, hello guys and welcome to a tier list on Paradox games. How are you feeling, Leif? Are you feeling good?
I'll tell you what I want right now. King Arthur, sent by Zeus. Put it now. No discussion. No discussion. No discussion. Don't argue with me.
King Arthur. Well,
sent by Zeus.
People don't even know what it is yet.
Exactly, and they should. I'm making so many videos on this so far. It's gonna be good. I've got weeks worth of content ready for King Arthur.
King Arthur.
I'm ready. I'm ready. Right. Sorry to hijack that one. Do you want to tell people about? Screw it. You'll do it in post. Let's go to the next one.
First up, we have Victoria 2, which is a grand strategy game during the colonial era of the 19th century. Right, okay, right. Let's do Victoria 2 first. Alright, Leif. So, for those who don't know, Victoria 2, game set in the Victorian era. A bit of a meme, Leif, do you not think?
I don't know. I haven't really played much of it. I think, to be honest, solid game. Just because I haven't played enough of it, but it has such a cult following and it's so like prevalent that it's got to be better than okay, clearly, right?
It's definitely one of the older Paradox games. I would say that.
Doesn't make it worse.
Would you say Sent by Zeus amazing or solid game? I think it's one of those.
Solid. I haven't played enough of it to call it amazing. So solid.
To be fair, I've played it a bit. Got a decent amount of playing time.
I'll put it this way, Tom. Put it this way. I will play. I'll make some Victoria 2 content. If it gets a lot of views, then I'll bump it up to amazing. All right. Otherwise, it's going down to okay. But for now, solid game.
We'll put it solid. All right. Next up, we have Imperator Rome, which was released in 2019 and is set during the foundation of the Roman Empire.
Are we judging this from our own experiences or from the recent update? Because I haven't played the recent update, and apparently that makes it better. I just remember playing it on release and hating it.
I think it's, if I'm honest, I don't think it says chuck it into a fire, but I reckon it's maybe awful or okay.
I would say it's awful, again, just from my own experience a couple of years back. So I need to actually play that new update. I haven't had time. But when I play the new update, if it's as good as everyone says, people are now saying it's like a solid game or okay now. But from what I remember of it being on release, I think it was awful. I didn't enjoy it.
I mean, I think it's. I think a lot people were saying it's kind of like an unfinished game. Maybe it's a bit more finished, but I still feel like. Should we just go awful? I think awful.
Well, we need something to go there at the end of the day.
Now we're going to judge March of the Eagles, which is set during the Napoleonic era between 1805 and 1820. Right. Next we have March of the Eagles. Have you ever played this game before, Leif?
Chuck it in the fire, man. Just chuck it straight into the fire.
People know what March of the Eagles is?
Well, hopefully they've watched your little intro just before we started discussing this. But like, I think March of the Eagles, chuck it into the fire. Okay. Just I had one experience with it and I hated it.
It's basically EU4, but a much worse version and only for 15 years.
You know we're gonna anger a lot of people with this. People apparently want March of the Eagles too.
That'd be kind of funny. You know what? Maybe they can make it a good game in the second one, but who knows? Yeah, Leif, we're gonna annoy a lot of people with this, aren't we?
Oh yeah, dude, they're gonna hate us.
Now we have Empires of Sin, which focuses on the 1920s with the rise of a criminal underworld. Right, next one, Empire of Sin. I played this a bit. I think it's okay. I actually think it's an okay game, personally. It's not finished in a lot of ways, but I think it's an okay. I'm going to put it okay game.
Okay. I mean, you're not going to put it awful?
I don't think it's that awful. I played it. It's kind of got a lot of kind of interesting characters in there. You've got some gangsters as well.
Gangster Granny, to be honest, like the Gangster Granny video is one of my favorite videos.
We've made one video on it on our channel.
Here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. It only got 500 views, and so for that reason, it's awful. I mean, obviously our channel was a lot smaller back then, but that's my reasoning for putting it in awful, and also just to pad the awful tag.
It's an okay game. I'm gonna put okay.
Okay, we might have to bump it down later to see if something else comes in.
Maybe, yeah. Next up we have Knights of Pen and Paper, Knight of Honor, and finally the first Knight of King Arthur role-playing game. Now, Leif and I have played absolutely nothing of these three games, And doing a bit more research, I realised Knights of Honor is actually a really popular game, so please forgive us. Right, next we've got Knights of Pen and Paper.
If you don't put that immediately into Sent by Zeus, Tom, we've got issues. Anything with King Arthur, Knights, I'm ready, apart from, the one coming up. Is there another King Arthur? Did you put 2 King Arthurs?
I put 2 King Arthurs.
We don't even know what King Arthur is.
It looks like a bit of a... I don't know, I guess... I don't think many people have played these games, to be fair. But Knights of Pen and Paper looks kind of interesting to play. I might play that, to be fair, in my spare time.
Well, just where do you want to put it? Okay, then? Because we don't know what it is.
I'd say it's okay. It looks like an okay game.
Sure.
Not enough to say it's solid or amazing, but it looks okay.
Alright, what's the next one? Knights of Arthur, King Arthur. Well, obviously it has to be Sent by Zeus. Obviously, we're big fans of the King Arthur. You know what's going to happen, Tom? By the power of memes, people are going to want us to play this game. We're going to we're going to do one of these games. It's going to get tons of views, and we'll be forced into being a King Arthur YouTubers.
What about Knights of Honor,
No, honestly, Tom, I have less.
It looks like a mobile game. I'm not going to lie. I've seen
You can fire them. If it's a mobile game.
It looks a bit like a mobile game, yeah. Right, Europa Universalis 4. Yeah, chuck into a fire.
No, it has to be amazing, doesn't it? It's like our channel sort of built on it. It's not quite as good as King Arthur, but it's better than Victoria.
I think okay, we'll go with amazing. We'll go with amazing for EU4. I think I'd say you rate it more than me though.
Yeah, well, I do have 2,000 hours in it, in excess of, and you don't have that.
Don't get me wrong, I still rate it highly, but I think you're like one of the best in the world at this game, though. So what are you?
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna say anything about. I'm neither gonna confirm nor deny. All I'm gonna say is I did beat Flory in a 1v1. So so technically I did trick him into the win, but still.
Next is Sengoku, a grand strategy game played in Japan. Alright, Sengoku. Have you seen this game? I've had a look at this game. It's basically like E4 but in Japan, from what I've seen.
So E4 does have Japan in it, Tom. I'm going to tell you something about Sengoku, Tom. I'm going to make a video on it.
Okay.
I'm telling you this on camera now. I'm going to make a video on Sengoku.
Okay. Should we put it? Should we put it as a solid? No. How about okay? I can't say enough.
Put it okay.
We'll put it okay. We'll put it okay. Now we're going to judge Hearts of Iron 4, a game based on the World War II period. Hearts of Iron 4.
Solid game. No, you can't put it anywhere other than solid. It's solid.
I think what I do. Okay, fine. Hearts of Iron 4 would go solid game.
How are you going to put Hearts of Iron 4 on the same level as Empire of Sin? How are you going to do that?
You can't.
Exactly. This is where it belongs. It's a solid game.
Maybe Empire of Sin should go back down to
down. That's what I thought.
You know what? Okay, fine. We'll put that.
Just because again, it's relatively speaking, isn't it? It's not just like a confirmed thing.
In comparison to say, it can't be one below Victoria 2 and Hearts of Iron 4, really.
Yeah.
Next up, we have Prison Architect, which is a game where you're able to construct a highly sophisticated prison. Okay, Prison Architect. I actually love this game.
I played it for 10 minutes, but I enjoy the fact that I can imprison other human beings, so solid to me.
It's actually like one of the first Paradox games I played.
Really?
I watched it on the Yogscast when I was younger, and I was like, oh, it looks awesome.
Did they actually do that? Let me have a look.
Yeah, they did.
Otherwise you're going to look like an idiot.
They did. It was like with, I think, Duncan or one of them. So I think I'm actually going to have to put this as solid, Leif, to be fair. This is a solid game. I think it's really fun to play. Yeah, but
solid? Oh, you're not putting it amazing then. I thought with that sort of
well, to be honest, actually, yeah. It was one of the first games. And I think Prison Architect is actually... I've enjoyed it more than Hearts of Iron 4 and Victoria 2. I used to play hours and hours of this game. It's just quite fun, to be fair.
Alright, well, there you go then.
Now we're going to move on to the Crusader Kings series, with Crusader Kings 2 being released in 2012, and Crusader Kings 3 being released in 2020, which focuses on the medieval era. Crusader Kings 2, I think that's got to be amazing.
Yeah, okay, I'll put it up there. I like it. I'm happy with that.
One of the first Paradox games I got into, still play it casually.
Do you play it more than CK3?
I do. I haven't. I've been playing more CK3 at the moment, but I think I've been playing. I feel there's more stuff in CK2. If I played it now, I'd still enjoy it.
I haven't let myself play CK2 since CK3 came out, just because I don't want to I feel like I'll always be playing CK2 otherwise. I've got to now move with the times and wait for it to. I think the thing I don't like about CK3 that I preferred about CK2, and I understand why they did it. But I preferred that in CK2 there was just weird stuff going on all the time. Made it feel more dynamic because you had the cults, you had Glitterhoof coming in. It was more there was there was a blurring of lines between myth and man, if that makes sense. Ragnar Lothbrok, for example, exemplifies this perfectly, where you have this figure that you can attribute all of these mythical things to, and he might have been real, and you can kind of do those things as in that vein. Whereas Crusader Kings 3 is very much more realistic and focusing on the realism aspect of it versus the sort of the fantastical.
I think, I agree. I think there's more. I guess it's been out for longer, so they just added so much more to it in terms of the stuff that you can do in peacetime. I feel like Crusader Kings 3 still has a bit less in peacetime. Should we do Crusader Kings 3 then next? I mean, would you say it's a solid game? Solid. I think it's solid. Yeah,
it's solid. I don't think it's quite on the level of Hearts of Iron 4 for me personally. It's just. It just feels a little bare at times. I do sometimes find myself just sitting around wondering what to do, and I sort of have to make the story in my own head, if that makes sense. I need to want to do something for roleplay reasons, which I think is the best way of playing Crusader Kings. But I think because I play Crusader Kings like that, and I'm not a min-maxer, Crusader Kings 2 offered so much more of that, because then if your guy was a little bit of a dick, you can make him the son of the devil. He can lob it, chuck himself to death, try and hunt for immortality, this sort of thing. Yeah. Whereas in Crusader Kings 3, it's a bit less. But I do like the stress system. It does force you down that line.
Maybe it's better in terms of if they both came out at the same time, maybe Crusader Kings 3 is better in terms of a base game. I feel like there's still a lot to do. I mean, for Northern Lords DLC, that adds a bit more to it. But still, there's so much I could add, and that's been added to kind of Crusader Kings 2. But I think that's a fairly. But I feel like people in the comments are not going to agree with us at all.
No, I don't think so.
Next is Stellaris, which is a strategy game set in space.
Stellaris, I would put that either on solid game or amazing.
Stellaris.
Stellaris. There was the new DLC came out, Nemesis. That looks amazing. One thing I love about it is how it makes me feel. It's just one of those things that it really does feel like you're commanding a race, and you're trying to
I would say it goes in between these two. It goes in between these two, in a sense. I don't think it's the same level as these three, but I think it's. I would rather play it than Crusader Kings, and I'm kind of leaning towards the same level of play. I'm playing Stellaris a lot more recently, and I'm having a lot more fun in terms of just the DLC adds so much, and they're really, really good DLCs as well. They're very, very, very good. I think you can definitely play without the DLCs in some cases, but they offer so much. Just having planet killing weapons and hive minds and that sort of stuff is amazing. And like I said, it's the general feel of I like, in my mind, a really great evening is just ordering in a pizza, right? Getting some fizzy drinks and just sitting down in Stellaris and really getting into it. So that to me is why I'd put it between. I would put it amazing personally, but I'm still solid. Still solid. I think it's solid, but that's, I don't know. I guess it's kind of fun. I've enjoyed it, but I'm still quite new to the game, so I'd go more solid than amazing. But I tell you what, I think I'm more middle, and you said amazing, so I think maybe we'll bump this up to amazing.
Sure, I'm happy with that.
Maybe this should be more kind of tier lists here, because I wouldn't say a lot of these games.
There should be one more layer here, Tom. But oh well. Wait, hang on. Do you want to quickly just edit one in? Okay. Chuck Stellaris in there then.
I think Stellaris is great fun. Maybe I'd go Prison Architect is great fun as well. I think I'd move that down. Now we're going to look at the Magico series, which is a game where you play as a wizard in order to stop the evil sorcerer. The Magico 1 and 2. Do you think?
Okay, so for nostalgic reasons, I think Magico 1 is better than Magico 2. Magico for me is
So it's just Magical 1?
No.
This is Magical 1?
Yes.
Okay.
I would put
2.
Magica 2 in solid game and Magica 1 in great fun. I think the only thing stopping it from being amazing is that I never had any friends to play it with. So
Are you saying a bit lonely there?
So, and that's sort of like the fun. I remember like the occasions I did do it. You could just like you just dropping these stupid mines that you just launch people off the map, like your own teammates and stuff, and just combining beams and that sort of stuff it was just such like a really fresh and dynamic way of having combat where it never felt stale, because like you could do like dark fire and your teammate could blast out some water and they just combined to make like super steam jets, and different enemies had different weaknesses. I think it was really good. And it's bumped up above number 2 just because I like the aesthetic of number 1 a bit more, but I could be wrong.
Okay,
they're both very good.
We'll go with that. We'll go with those ones. Moving on, we're going to look at Surviving Mars, which is a building game set on Mars. Surviving Mars. Let's do that one first.
It's okay.
It's okay.
I was excited for it. I'm not gonna lie, I was very excited for it. I just think it just wasn't really for me. I found people have had a lot of fun with it, and that's why I'm not saying it's awful or anything. I just think it was okay.
We'll go okay.
It doesn't really stir any emotion in me. For example, like I like games that, for example, again, Stellaris is a great example of this. Stirs up a sense of wonder. Crusader Kings, like a sense of like roleplay. EU4 trying to command the nation, this sort of stuff, and then you've got Surviving Mars, which doesn't really instill any of those things in me, really.
I think so. I think I would agree. We'll go with it. Okay. I think we'll go okay for that one. Now we have Mount & Blade Warband, which is where you can wander around in a medieval realm and go from a peasant to a king. Warband and City Skylines. These are kind of, I would say Warband is almost sent by Zeus, personally. But
it has to be amazing. It has to be amazing, but
I
it's not on the level of
above-
King Arthur.
I think
it's
it
not.
is
No,
above-
it can't. It's not on the level of King Arthur. Nothing is on the level of King Arthur.
Have you played the Viking DLC? I played that.
Yeah, of course I have.
Stop 12 hours.
I know. So did I. But the thing is, Tom, King Arthur. All right, how about this? Make a new category, call it Mount & Blade, and put it in between amazing and sent by Zeus.
Okay.
Like, I mean, you didn't even bother to change the colors. Like, this tier list coloring makes no sense anymore. Wait, scroll down, Tom.
Yeah.
Keep going. What the hell are your targeted ads?
I don't know.
You're right, man. You're having some medical issues.
Finally, we have City Skylines, which is a building game.
And we've got one last one, City Skylines. Nah.
I think
Right.
it's like Sim City, isn't it? It's kind of like.
I think it's an updated. I think it's better than SimCity. Absolutely better than SimCity.
I think great fun. I think it goes great fun.
All right. Well, if you had great fun doing it, put it great fun. It's like if you put it there, because then it's like almost like a bell curve.
I think those are the okay. I think we've done Leif. How do you feel? Do you think that's like a fair estimate of them all?
Yeah, I think so. I think the only things I'd be willing to change would be Imperator could go up based on the new thing.
Yeah.
I think Surviving Mars, similar thing. It could go up. I just haven't really played. The same thing with Victoria. Maybe I'd enjoy it.
Maybe Hearthstone 4 could go up. It could be.
Hearthstone 4 I've spent a lot of time in, and it is fun. It's just not as dynamic as some of the other ones on the list, where like I have to be feeling to play Hearthstone 4, whereas the other ones I can just sort of pick up and play, you know?
Same. I think Hearthstone 4 is a definitely solid game. But hey,
It feels low, but that's just because we've added 2 new categories in.
yeah.
One of them
that's
being literally just Mount & Blade.
why. CK3 could also go up. CK3 has the
Oh.
potential to be.
Yeah, it has the potential to be huge, but we'll see how that goes. And there's also the argument to be made, which is that is a game. Are we judging a game with its DLC, or are we judging it as a base game? Because if we're judging it as a base game, EU4 needs to drop straight down to the chuck in the fire. Like, what an awful game.
The question is, Leif, could March of the Eagles be sent by Zeus? Could that be?
Well, I'll make a video on it and we'll see.
I wonder how many people have actually played this game as well. These 2 King Arthur games.
6 people, and they're very excited that we're representing their community.
Thank you guys for watching, and let me know what you think about our tier list in the comments.